it's Taylor with y'all 106.7. Today we are joined by singer-songwriter Miss Karen Waldrup. Welcome to y'all.
Well, thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
We're fresh off CMA Fest. How are we feeling?
Woo, it was crazy. We went really hard, but we had a lot of fun. Yeah. We met a ton of people. You know, CMA Fest is, someone asked me, what's the best part about it? And I find the best part to be when you're traveling and you're in Ohio, everybody that's meeting you is from Ohio. But at CMA Fest, it's like lady from Ohio, guy from the UK, lady from Florida, couple from Illinois. You know, it's just cool how it's just such a global moment for music and for us as artists to just get to have all that at our fingertips. It's truly a dream. It really is.
It gets bigger and bigger every year, I feel like.
And the parking gets worse and the chaos, but we were good.
Yes. But you have a new outfit. We were talking about that. I love your outfit today.
Thank you. Yeah, it was really cool to be able to play shows, do a ton of press, and then on the way out, God just blessed me with just some amazing gifts from different companies that kind of knew, oh, this is Karen Waldrup. Maybe we'd like to give her a hat, or so just a couple little blessings on the way out. And my saxophone player even got a new straw summer hat. So CMA Fest is just such a generous time. We're generous. Other people are generous. Everybody's just giving away koozies and giving away T-shirts, and it's a fun time.
If you haven't been to CMA Fest, you have to check it out. Let's talk about your new single, Blue Cowboy Boots. Love that one.
Girl.
It's a spunky little song.
I'm loving it. It's really my favorite piece of art that I've been a part of in a long time. It's fun. It's lighthearted. It's very free and summery. It's feel good. And we were thinking, you know, that's the best kind of music to make, especially for the summer. So we felt like this song was really good for those summer months of fun in the sun and people out on the boat and doing their thing. So this song is special because the boots represent kind of a shift between a bad day and a good day. You know, if you're having a bad day, you throw on your blue cowboy boots and you ain't blue anymore because you got the blue cowboy boots. So that's really what it is. It's the double entendre of like, you're not blue anymore because you got the blue boots. And it's just a fun song, you know? Yeah. And I co-wrote it with my friend Ed Hill, who has written some amazing songs historically, but also songs with me. He and I have written together for a minute. So he's just a good friend of mine and also a mentor. And it was his idea to do the co-branded boot. So now we've got our own Karen Waldrup blue cowboy boot. That's really fun, and people are ordering them and shipping them worldwide. So we doing it, girl.
That is special. I love that. Yeah, it just makes you want to let your hair down, party a little bit. You said it. You said it the best. And you're a Louisiana girl.
Yep.
So your song Louisiana Hurricane, I love that when you said they have a Abita on tap or something, that lyric. Abita strawberry is like my favorite beer when it's in season because I'm from like South Mississippi. My family's from Louisiana. So respect the Abita line is all I'm saying.
What part of South Mississippi?
The Gulf Coast.
Okay. I went to Southern Miss.
Me too. Southern Miss to the top.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay. Southern Miss to the top.
I love that. When did you go there?
Graduated in 2008.
Okay.
What year did you graduate?
I was late, so I graduated in 2015. But if I hadn't have stayed late, I think it would have been like 2013.
Okay.
Changed my major halfway through. I was like, what am I doing with my life?
Years.
Everyone's, when you tell them you're from Mississippi, they're like, Ole Miss or Mississippi State. I'm like, nope, Southern Miss.
Southern Miss.
Jimmy Buffett, Brett Favre.
Yep.
That's great.
Absolutely. Yeah, being from South Louisiana, it wasn't very far.
Yeah.
So it was easy for me to whip over to Hattiesburg, and we had a good time, no doubt. But yeah, being from South Louisiana, it's really all about, Louisiana is just so free, and people get to just totally be themselves. And being a musician from Louisiana, I have that amazing gift to be able to just kind of say what I want, do what I want on stage. We got a saxophone player that travels with me all over the world. I really believe in adding horns to country music. I think it's got a special southern soul twist to it. So pretty much most of my music has horns, unless it's a slower song. I'm all about blaring those horns, girl. I'm
staying true to those roots. We love it. Who were some of your musical influences then? Like, who did you grow up listening to?
You know, definitely like Janis Joplin, you know, loved the Dixie Chicks coming up for the songwriting. You know, Janis Joplin for the live performance, Shania Twain live performance, you know, Miranda Lambert, all of the above, live performance, songwriting. She does so many brand partnerships. She's a huge example to me because she she kind of does it all, and I love that about her. And same with Lainey Wilson. She's doing it all. So I appreciate the women who write, perform, and do a lot of co-branding, because that's a lot of work.
Oh, yeah.
To do all of it and be in the studio and work out and the list of a million things there is to do.
Love Miranda.
So.
We were actually listening to your music before you got here, and we said we hear Miranda Lambert in your music.
Thanks.
So.
That's a huge compliment. Thank you very much.
And one of your songs you mentioned, Dolly Parton, Dixie Chicks.
How could I have left out Dolly? Yeah, Dolly's my absolute dream meet and greet for sure. I'm looking forward to a day where I could finally meet her. That would be great.
And she's another one who just absolutely does it all.
Girl, she does it all and then some.
Yeah.
Dollywood, kids' books. I mean, she literally does it all.
She's incredible.
Yes.
Well, let's talk about The Voice. You were a finalist on season 25.
Yeah.
How did you find your way onto that TV show, and what was that experience like?
You know, being here in Nashville, you know, you come up through this kind of system, right? So you're playing acoustic shows and songwriter nights, and then you're finally playing at the Bluebird, and then you're all excited because you play the Bluebird, and then next thing you know, you're like, okay, I want a band, so now I'm going to go play at Tootsie's to kind of build the band and have a performance residency. So you do the Tootsie's thing, and then next thing you know, you're on the road and you're touring, and now you need to add a fifth player, and so just kind of builds and builds, and then all of a sudden for me, I kind of had like capped out the club scene. Like I felt like I was doing great playing clubs. I knew how to get the crowd rowdy. Like I had kind of checked the boxes of all that. And I was like, I need to get from the club to the theater. I need to get from the club to the ticketed amphitheater. I need to go from the club to the festival. I got to take that next step. And I didn't know how to do that. And I was kind of at the point where I was kind of like, what could we do? You know, what other ways could we try different things? You know, we'd recorded music. I had worked with amazing legends like Paul Worley, Garth Fundis, Biff Watson. Like I had co-written with some great writers like Leslie Satcher. I mean, I had done great things, and I was kind of like, how do I take that next step? And so my manager, Robin, we were on our way to a show in Memphis. And a great room. I love to play Lafayette's, and we're on our way, and we're in the car, and we left Nashville without the idea, and we landed in Memphis with the agreement that we would do it, and we would go out there and spend that time and take a step back to take a step forward. And it was definitely a step back, stepping away from the band, away from the road, away from the income of touring. It was a huge risk, but we did it, and because I was stepping away from so much, I do think that gave me a huge competitive advantage, because everybody else was like, woohoo, I'm in LA. I'm going to go to Disney this afternoon. And I was like, this ain't an option.
I'm dialed in. Yeah.
We ain't doing anything but the finale. Let's go. So I gave it 100%. And I'm really proud of how focused I was.
And who was your coach?
Dan and Shay.
Dan and Shay. What was that like?
They're amazing. Both of them are incredibly talented, and it's interesting how they're just incredibly talented in different ways, which I think is what makes Dan and Shay so special, because Shay is such a great timing singer. It's unbelievable. His timing is shocking. It's like impeccable timing. And being able to study and work with them, I was able to realize, like, I was kind of missing that, you know? And you don't realize it when you're touring, because you're just out there just playing, but you forget about the timing, you know? And Shay really helped me with that. And then for Dan, he helped me realize the reverence of the song and the importance of stepping into the energy of the song. So he takes it very serious. Like, he is a very serious producer, musician, person when it comes to structure. He takes everything so serious down to the, BPM of the song, all the dorky things. That's Dan. Shay's the fun one that's putting on the great show. So it's really cool to watch them work together and their different strengths that they brought even to me. You know, there was moments where that was an interesting thing about being the first artist in the finale with a dual coach chair, because there were times where one of them gave me one piece of advice and the other one said, no, dude, you know?
You're like, oh gosh.
So it's kind of
like
cool.
Mom and Dad, who do I listen to today? But they're a dream team.
To do that. Yeah. And then it became my choice. Like, okay, well, do I want to step away from the microphone stand or do I not? Like they kind of were split on that. So that was fun too. I felt like I was like a collaboration on it with them. And that was really neat. Just to be able to work together. They are incredible.
What a special opportunity. Girl. Congrats to you. That's huge. Thank you. When you look at your career, what are maybe some goals that we have, and what does the rest of this year look like for you?
Yeah, someone asked me that question the other day, and I find my number one goal is happiness. I think sometimes artists get carried away by the next thing, and that's another thing I learned from Dan and Shay. They said that they made that mistake themselves. So as they were going along, they were just like finished, done, check, on to the next thing. And they weren't like celebrating that moment. And so Chris and I, my sax player and I, we went to the Southern the other night, had a really nice meal. We celebrated CMA Fest. We took that minute to say like, this matters. We did something great and we deserve a hamburger and a beer. We deserve this. We worked so hard for this. So that's my one primary goal is happiness. And then my other goals are, obviously, I want to play the Grand Ole Opry. I haven't gotten to play the Grand Ole Opry yet, so I'm praying about that all the time. I'm working towards that all the time. I want to continue my charity work with Mission of Hope Haiti. I feel like I'm at the very beginning of my journey with them and the impact that I can make. We've built 3 houses, just paid for by Waldrup Worldwide, and I'd like to move forward in just continuing one house at a time, slowly, making a difference there. And making great music, writing, recording. I'm literally going to the studio today to sing on a track with a big, huge male artist who's featuring me on his record. So there's moments like that you just get this little sprinkle of like, wow, that came out of nowhere. And so that's today. And so one of the beauties of being in the arts is that you don't always know what's next, but you know one thing, that if you wake up every day and you just do what you're supposed to be doing, rehearsing, practicing, getting enough sleep, doing all the things you're supposed to be doing, God provides. The music muse provides. It's actually unbelievable.
You got to enjoy the journey. It's
Thank
the best
you.
part.
Yes, I think that's the number one thing. Yeah.
And we're going to manifest the Grand Ole Opry for you. It's going to happen.
Yes.
So that's just so exciting. And I can't wait to hear who you're teasing, who your next song is with. So
I know,
we're very
right?
excited.
Yeah. And then just writing and working with, I've just got so many great friends in Nashville that write really great stuff. So I think, like I said, taking a step back to take a step forward is important, even if you didn't write the song, if it's a great song, I think that's really important as well. So that's what I'll do next. Oh, and I forgot to mention, we have a music video about to drop.
When does that come out?
It's in the middle of June.
Is this for Blue Cowboy Boots?
Blue Cowboy Boots, yep.
You're going to be wearing those sassy boots, I'm sure.
Yeah. The Wet Kiss co-branded Karen Waldrup boots, yes. And so, in the music video, I'm actually the Grand Marshal in a Mardi Gras parade. That I really was a Grand Marshal in a Mardi Gras parade, which was cool because we just put the camera on it and filmed it and played the song.
So Louisiana.
Girl, yes. And we threw blue beads, and it is just rowdy and exactly what the song is. Just fun, light, colorful, sweet. And then we've got some shots of the band and the horn player, and I have a great band.
Well, we cannot wait to see it. That sounds really cool. And the best way to keep up with you, socials?
I always say KarenWaldrup.com because these days, especially for independent artists, we are getting a lot of impersonators online. Yeah. So I think it's really important for people to start with KarenWaldrup.com, to start with MirandaLambert.com, to start with CarrieUnderwood.com. Because if you start there, you're on the right social media platform. That that's my online store. Because it's KarenWaldrup.com, right? So you don't have to worry, like, is this t-shirt going to arrive because you bought it at KarenWaldrup.com. So I think that's important right now. I think it's important for everybody to go to the entertainment hub of the artist. So that is KeithUrban.com. And from there, you're safe to go wherever the link sends you. But I think if you start going on your own and Googling KeithUrban.com, you might end up somewhere putting your credit card in on somewhere you didn't mean to. So KeithUrban.com, KarenWaldrup.com,
KarenWaldrup.com, and Blue Cowboy Boots is out now to stream. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you so much for having me. Y'all keep streaming it.